Please welcome Jacob Clemente, Senior Reporter, Charter.
All right, everyone, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed lunch. This is not the game show part of the day, but it is the most game show-like part of the day. If you've been to a Charter event before, you know that we like to keep things fast-paced. So up next, we have a series of 4-minute lightning talks. We have asked these 4 professionals to come demonstrate one example of how they or their teams are using AI in their lives or at work. So please give a round of applause for our speakers. Up first, we have Alex Shapiro, who is the Chief People Officer of Jasper, which is an AI platform for marketers. Please give a round of applause. Then we have Clary, who is the go-to-market AI operations lead at Workera, which is an AI-powered skills intelligence platform. Please give it up for John. We have LeBlanc-Godfrey, who is the founder and CEO of Mother AI, which is an education company dedicated to helping parents support their kids with technology, using technology to support their kids, their households, and their personal lives. Please give it up for Stephanie. And then finally, we have Tomo Chien, who is a reporter at the San Francisco Standard, which is our mother company. But Tomo is also a senior in college still. So please give it up for Tomo. All right, each speaker will have 4 minutes to present their use case. We're going to kick things off with Alex. Please give it up for Alex.
Hi, oh gosh, there is a timer and you guys can see it too. Guinea pig up here. So I'm Alex. I work at Jasper AI. We are an AI native marketing tech platform. So I always say that means our employees come not just to work in AI, but to work with AI. And it's my team's job to deliver on the second half of that value prop. And so we think a lot about enablement and how to encourage adoption. And what I'm going to share with you today is actually cribbed from our AI Clubhouse initiative, where we run a sort of safe space for people to show really bite-sized, digestible examples and sort of spark some of the wonder and excitement around AI. So most of the content is from that, but I am responsible for the SpongeBob. Imagine the problem statement, which nobody in here, I'm sure, can relate to, of a meeting calendar day that looks like this. You are back-to-back the whole day. You are context shifting. You are trying to keep everyone straight. And you are striving for excellence. That's the bar we set for the people team at Jasper. We want to be providing the excellent service, and we want to be really setting the standard in terms of how we show up every day amidst all of these meetings. What's the solution? Well, one of the members of my HRBP team, who runs our Clubhouse initiative, built herself a meeting prep assistant in ChatGPT using the tasks functionality. And if you've never used the tasks functionality, the only thing you need to know is that it's a ChatGPT prompt that runs on some amount of a schedule. So if you want like a daily prep message or weekly check-in or a quarterly recap, you can actually set up your prompts and give the context, and I'll kind of walk through this in a sec. But you can really onboard that meeting prep assistant, and then you can have it run every day without doing anything differently. And it runs entirely within ChatGPT. But you can put in some of your own connectors, your own context, and make sure it has the tools and capabilities to really support you in getting ready. So like any new hire, you're going to onboard a little bit and make sure that they have the digital permissions to be successful. So connect it to your Drive, your calendar, your Gmail. If you want, for example, a recap of emails that are in your inbox, you can connect it into Gmail. In this case, we'll be using the calendar connector primarily. And you're going to first start by just describing in plain English, what is it that you need this person to do? Hey, at 9 a.m. every day, go into my calendar, look at the meetings I have for the day, tell me the last time I met with each person, give me some of the information about what I might be doing in that meeting, if there's anything attached to the calendar invite for context, and send it to me as a prep doc for the day, and make some recommendations about how I can get ready. And you're also going to want to give it a certain amount of context. Just like any new hire, it really understands more if you give it some of the peripheral vision around your life. So, hey, Bonnie is my manager. So if you see a one-on-one with her, that's actually my manager one-on-one. Can you make sure to give me a sort of recap of the things I've been working on so I have that top of mind? Or this sort of conversation is a customer conversation. Make sure I have this call deck very top of my inbox. And you can really, in ChatGPT, you can preview and iterate live. But you really set this up, and you continue to sort of run it. And what the result is, and what my team has been able to do, is sort of have this daily prep email that goes to them. Reads their Google Calendar, kind of gives them a bit of insights into the meetings it's going to have for the day, orders them in priority. And in this case, they've set aside sort of a 9 to 10 a.m. prep block on their calendar. And so the task actually creates an ICS file, which uploads into Google Calendar, and it puts little meeting holds on their calendars saying, hey, in advance of this meeting, you might want to remember that you met with this person already, that you talked to them about these things according to the notes doc. You might want to ask some follow-up questions on that. And they have that right there waiting for them every single day. The rest of the day, they're on their own. Do I get a prize for 7 seconds left?
Yeah, look, only.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you.
Up next is John.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is John Clary, and I'm the Go-to-Market AI Operations Lead at Workera. And for those of you not familiar with Workera, we are an AI native company. We use AI agents to help assess the skills of enterprise workforces. So we have these external agents we've built, but we also have a series of internal agents that we've built to help streamline our business operations. Today, I'm going to tell you about one of those internal tools that we lovingly call Yoda. Yoda is your outstanding discussion analyzer, taking something we've talked a lot about today, conversations, and getting insights out of them. So the problem that we're covering is really covered in one simple question. How do we turn conversations into clarity? Each week, our sales team is talking with customers and prospects and create about 19 hours of content. That 19 hours of content has valuable information for 3 different teams. Our sales team, understanding buying signals for the next customer. Marketing team, understanding if the message is aligning with our customer. And then last but not least, the product team, looking to see if the features that we're releasing solve real pain points. But for the sales team in particular, we're looking to see 3 questions: the who, what, and why. Who should we engage in to drive the deal to close? What content or message will resonate with the pain points that they talk about? And why does Workera resonate with specific accounts and maybe not others? Our solution comes in the form of, it looks like I'm one back. The solution comes in the form of a friendly green companion that you probably know from other franchises, but has a side gig at Workera. His name is Yoda. And Yoda takes a common sales framework, so it's called PACT. It stands for Pain, Authority, Consequence, Target, Profile, and Timing. It just basically helps you understand the insights from the call itself. But because Yoda is purpose-built for Workera, he understands further context, like sentiment around tools that we're releasing, content that will most resonate across the board, and then ultimately we're driving actionable next steps. We don't want to just say, oh, send an email. We want to tell them, this is the blueprint to get you from this initial conversation to a really meaningful close at the end of the day. We also know what might be blocking that process, and ultimately trying to drive a shared insight among the team. So how we get there, the approach involves a few different tools. So typically the human-led process, it's a sales rep who has the conversation. It's recorded in Gong. They might share out that insight to Slack or to Salesforce, but that takes time and energy out of their day. With Yoda, we're trying to take that burden off of the sales rep. We're using tools like Clay, OpenAI as our LLM, and Google Sheets to aggregate all this information into one repository of information so that we can see trends across time and we can see how these insights can be consistently applied and shared with others. The result of this is an informed team built to win. We asked at the beginning of this presentation if we can turn conversations into clarity. And with Yoda, we are able to do so across those 3 teams that I mentioned previously. We're trying to take those insights and turn it into action for the team to then utilize in their day-to-day. Now, we want to create clarity and we want to continue to iterate on this. So Yoda also has some friends to help. Yoda now can do Yoda Prep and Yoda Weekly, understanding what are the things that we should know going into a sales call so we can get the most out of the time with the customer and prospect. And then Yoda Weekly also helps us identify longer-term trends. We have this repository of analyses. How do we use that to inform our longer-term strategy? Now, I know this was a go-to-market example, but we've talked a lot about how conversations matter and how there's insights in each one. And we might be utilizing a tool like an AI note taker, but if you need to understand trends or themes that you're identifying over time, this is where AI can help you in pulling out those insights so you can help your team learn faster and ultimately stay competitive. And that's all my time.
Hello, everyone. I'm Stephanie LeBlanc-Godfrey, CEO and founder of Mother AI. And so I started Mother AI 2.5 years ago now to show parents how they can leverage AI in their personal, parenting, and professional life. A lot of parents that I speak with are using AI at work, and then when I show them ways that they could use it at home, this new light bulb goes off in the most incredible and amazing ways. So I'm going to show you one of those use cases here today. So the number one, or one of the number one challenges that we have as parents is around learning. Kids don't learn the same way that we learned. And so when we're trying to help them with homework and be part of their learning journey, we get all the frustration and the tears about that's not how they taught it at school. And so the obstacle that we're trying to do is fill in the gap of how we know things are done, but then how they're learning it in school. And so the difference, or the solve for this, is really addressing the time gap. From the time that parents or kids are saying, hey, can you help me with your homework, to us figuring out, okay, let me go on YouTube, let me look through all these education websites, and by that time, they've gone off, made up an answer, and then you never hear from them again. And so with the fact that they don't learn the same way that we used to, it's not an intelligence gap that they're suffering from or that we're suffering from, it's translation. And so what that means is, what is the language? What are the visuals that they're experiencing in the classroom that we can then reinforce within the home? And so one of the things that the first kind of like approach, I have 3 kids, elementary, middle, and high school age students. So I've got all the homework challenges. And so for my 2nd grader, when he was learning how to use, learning how to add, when I would say, carry the 1, do this, group this, he couldn't understand it. And so I used ChatGPT, and I said, using the iReady curriculum at the 2nd grade level, show me how to add 3-digit numbers. And it was able to use exactly the language, exactly the visuals that he learned in the classroom, so that when I was helping him, I no longer said carry the 1. I was saying group this and group that, or whatever that it showed me to do. But then it allowed him to really understand and, I won't say eliminate, but minimize the tears. The second was for my middle schooler. So we're in the whole testing phase, which means there's always a study guide or a test that she has to prepare for. And so usually it comes either in the form of paper, or on Google Classroom, the teacher will share a study guide. And so what I do is either take a picture of the physical copy of the study guide or download it from classrooms, and then upload it to ChatGPT or Gemini, and then use this prompt. Using the attached study guide, create a mock exam with the answer key. I can ask for true and false, short answer, multiple choice, any of those, and it gives them ways to study over and over and over again. Because guess who doesn't get tired? ChatGPT and Gemini. And the added benefit for this is that it allows me to do this even while I'm traveling. And so she'll send it to me, text it to me, I'll send it back to her through the printer, and then she's able to go forth and do all of her tests. Distance does not mean disengagement. And so the result is that you can stay active in your child's learning journey. You can support them with their homework. You can get help from anywhere, so no matter if you're traveling or local. And you modeled AI literacy. Thank you so much.
All right.
Hey everybody, I'm Tomo. As mentioned earlier, I'm kind of the resident young, technologically proficient person in the San Francisco Standards newsroom, which often means that I'm showing people how to use the printer, but it also means that I do a lot of what I'm going to tell you about today, which is how you, as presumably a novice coder, can build custom software for your teams that will automate your tasks. So today I'm going to tell you about a very journalist-specific problem that I was able to solve and what that means for you and your teams and how you can make your own lives easier. So a few months ago, I was facing a problem. Every morning, the San Francisco Sheriff's Department sends a list of everybody they've arrested in the last 24 hours. Now, it's incredibly hard to search and sort and analyze this data over any period of time because it's in daily emails. also means the reporters were opening this long email, and they're scrolling through this list and looking for the names of people that we're tracking, right? And of course, the underlying problem is that I'm bad at coding. So I can't just sit down and spit out 500 lines of code that are going to solve this problem for me. So like any good college student, I consulted a higher power. I went to ChatGPT, and I said, hey, I have this really monotonous task, and I think we could just get the robots to do this for us. So let's talk about ways that we can solve this problem. And within a few hours, I had a script that pulls the data from this email every morning, cleans it, sorts it, formats it the way I want, puts it into this Google Sheet. On 2 other tabs in this Google Sheet, I have a list of all the names that we're tracking. So for instance, the entire roster of the San Francisco 49ers. And then there's another tab that says, OK, if this person's name shows up in the list, I want you to send an email alert to these people. And this is what those email alerts look like. So obviously, this is an incredibly simple and lightweight program. But over the course of a year, this is saving our news team countless hours to go and actually chase the stories they need to chase in the morning instead of doing this kind of manual labor. So high level, this is what's happening here. This is our old set of slides. Huh? I used a program called Google AppScript. And what AppScript is it's a web-based program that lets you lets you essentially write your code in. And you say, OK, I want you to run this line of code at this time or when these conditions are met. And as we saw earlier, we use Google Sheets to essentially kind of store the raw data of this program, but also the internal logic. And Google AppScript, script.google.com, it's this lightweight web-based platform. It's perfect for beginners. It's easy to use. There's nothing you need to download. Of course, many of you probably don't need to track arrest logs over any period of time. But there's this whole realm of possibilities for things that you could automate for you and your teams, right? Maybe you need to scrape data from the websites of your competitors on a daily basis. Maybe you have new hires that are filling out Google Forms or Monday.com forms, and you want to send them automated emails or Google Calendar invites using data from that form. And that's what Google AppScript can do, because it plugs into your G Suite products, right? Your Drive, your Calendar, so on and so forth. It can pull data from the web. Now, if you guys have tasks that you think you could automate, I would encourage you to go to ChatGPT. I would say, hey, I'm a novice coder. I haven't coded before, but I have this problem. I think we could solve it. And I think you'll be blown away by what you were able to do with the help of ChatGPT. Thanks, and that's all I have today.